All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another special edition of The Danny Show. I'm your host, Daniel Cody. You probably done heard all the introductions from my previous video, but I'm here. This is what I like to call an emergency video. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have not seen it, you have to check out this promo by CM Punk and Eddie Kingston. Man, I had to give that video a thumbs up right there on AEW. And since this is all things wrestling, we're not just limited to WWE. But let's get started. Man, background story. So last week, Bryan Danielson, the American Dragon, why they didn't let him use the American Dragon in WWE? I don't know. But either way, the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, faced off against Eddie Kingston. And ironically, it was a triangle choke that would put Eddie Kingston out. But before Eddie Kingston would go out, he would go out in a defiant way, giving the Stone Cold Steve Austin finger before passing out, much like Brock Lesnar did at SummerSlam 2015 after passing out to The Undertaker's Hell's Gate submission hold. After regaining conscious after losing to Bryan Danielson, CM Punk was during an interview with Tony, and Eddie Kingston came in and interrupted, saying, I know you. So, this past Wednesday, CM Punk came out and did a special promo and said some kind words and sending love, thoughts, and prayers to Jon Moxley, aka Dean Ambrose, for a speedy recovery, and hopefully he will rehab from alcoholism. Everybody can't be straight edge like me and Punk, but addiction is a real thing. And just because I don't struggle with alcohol or drugs and anything, we all know bad habits come in all forms, shapes, and sizes. So either way, thumbs up to Jon Moxley for getting help and all of that good stuff. CM Punk made his voice known for his care for Jon Moxley getting better and things of that nature, and how important mental health is, as I stressed. But either way, he mentioned Eddie Kingston, who wasn't there that night, and called him out to have a face-to-face at some point. And, of course, to issue an apology for interrupting him. So tonight, we got to see the confrontation, and it started with CM Punk coming to the ring in St. Louis to call out Eddie Kingston. His music hit and it broke. And then CM Punk said, quote, well, maybe I just need to keep talking because Eddie Kingston feels comfortable interrupting people. And to CM Punk's proven point, Eddie Kingston comes out. So, this promo is good, and I'm going to tell you something. That's what promos look like. WWE, I'm a huge fan of you, but that's what promos look like. Man, I ain't seen nothing like this. Now, I will give credit where credit is due. Roman Reigns and John Cena from 2007 in the Uncut Words, where Roman called Cena a fake astronaut biscuit. Yeah, that's what he called him. Roman called Cena a fake ash biscuit many years ago. That promo was pretty tense. I will go for that. However, this promo here spits in all of that, with all due respect. And that's the way promos should be. CM Punk came looking for an apology, and Darby Allin came in, and boy, did he let CM Punk have it. Both of them let each other have it. Eddie came in and said, hey, I apologize. I apologize because I wanted to take precaution to make sure I didn't get my friends sick and things of that nature. And this is the violin that's playing for you. That was fire. Then he goes on to say how he trusted CM Punk. He thought CM Punk was a hero to him. He even mentioned Samoa Joe, who is currently under WWE, but is on the injured list because last we saw him, he defeated Karrion Kross, who was also unfortunately released. Darn it. So he mentioned Samoa Joe, Homicide, most of us know from TNA, the American Red, Amazing Red, I apologize, Amazing Red, along with some others. And he said those guys, he trusted them when they were on the independent scene. He looked up to them. And with CM Punk, you narcissistic biscuit, and I have to say that in PG terms, he said Punk judged him. Punk explained that he did judge him in a certain extent, that he held him to a standard because he believed in him. And he said even though he believed in him, he felt like a fool later on. So that got, he even mentioned that the guys Eddie mentioned judged him. So that made Eddie upset. That pissed him off. And then it went fiery from there. Punk would go on to say that it's not his fault that Eddie, in his mind, did not live up to his full potential as far as CM Punk is concerned. And there was a lot of mixed reaction from the crowd. Some were for Punk, some were for Eddie Kingston because both guys are fan favorites. Things got real heated when Eddie got in Punk's face and said, to be honest with you, no one wants to tell you this, but nobody wants you here. Everyone else is afraid to say it, but nobody wants you here. I kind of disagree with that because we all are happy that CM Punk is in AEW. Now, some people may not want him there, but I'm one of the guys, and I'm sure some of you will agree with me, that was glad when CM Punk came to WWE. Not AEW, I apologize. So with Punk coming to AEW, Eddie's like, nobody wants you here, leave. And while you're there, don't come back for another 7 years. And that's where the fight broke out. But before the fight broke out, there was a challenge that was given by Eddie to face CM Punk at Full Gear, which is an upcoming AEW pay-per-view that is on November 13th, Saturday. However, Punk said, and this was a fiery roast. I mean, I like both guys, but this was fire. When Punk said, hey, I was thinking maybe AEW Dark because that fits your style. I was like, oh my God. That was a punch low when he said, hey, let's do AEW Dark because that's what fits you better. That was cold, Punk. That was cold. And so, after being called a coward, Punk accepted the match and said, I'll see you in Full Gear. And then Eddie made the comment about not coming back for 7 years after he beats him up. So that's when the fight broke out. But I gotta say this. I could not help but come and give my thoughts on that because let me tell you something. That promo right there, whoo, AEW, let me tell you, listen, it's obvious, I will say this. We know what the Monday Night Wars did to wrestling. And it's almost like we got some Friday night stuff going on because SmackDown and AEW Rampage coming on the same night. I don't want to see any companies go out of business again. That I really don't want to see happen. But WWE, take notes, man. Because as much as I've been a WWE fan, that is a promo. And if I didn't know any better, I would have thought that promo was real and personal. And it seemed very genuine. I know it's people say stuff is entertainment, but that thing right there felt real. That, matter of fact, I don't even know how you can script something. I don't know how you're going to be able to script that match because that right there, that looked like it was real to me. And for all we know, it was because it seemed like they had animosity between each other for 15 years, according to the commentators. So you can't fake stuff like that, man. That ain't something you script. Either you do it or you don't. But that, I'm out of words. But ladies and gentlemen, if you have not seen it, you gotta check that promo out. It was lit. I cannot wait to see, and I'm gonna tell you this. I cannot wait to see those two fight at Full Gear. Some of you have seen my review on CM Punk's greatest matches, my top 10 picks of his favorite matches, in which I did for his birthday a couple of days ago, last week. Sorry. I might have to add this match to the list, and I might have to do a match or a top 10 pick next year just so I can add this one on, because I got a feeling that one's going to be good. But this one, I think it's personal. All I know is that was a promo. That's all I got to say. I ain't got nothing else to say. Y'all have a good weekend. But check that promo out. That was good.